Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Rich. All right, welcome to a new video. Today, we are going to check out The Dirty Pair, Sim Hell. This is very, very kick-ass black and white comic art from, I think, the late 80s or very early 90s. We'll check the dates, I think, once we get inside the book. But the artist is Adam Warren, and the characters are The Dirty Pair. And, you know, it was interesting. I was looking for some manga type art to share, and I came across this. And Adam is a really, really incredible artist, penciler, inker. I believe he also wrote some of these stories. I don't know what he's up to now, but you'll see what I mean when we get into this. This is some amazing stuff. So if you've never seen this, definitely stay tuned and check it out, because it is really great. So let's go. Oh, okay. So this is, let's see the date. I was just kind of curious. So we've got Kay and Yuri, and let's see. So this is 93. Okay, so a little later. So I first met Adam Warren in 1995 at a party. He had come out to San Diego and was staying at a friend of mine's house. And we went to I think it was during Comic-Con. We went to a party, or it might have been a Christmas party, something like that. But anyway, but everyone was really excited. I had only been really collecting comics at that point from maybe like 16 months, and I was working as a professional, but I kind of I broke in quick. I broke in as an inker, so it's not like I didn't have to take 10 years to figure out like how to ink. But yeah, well, like everybody was super, super excited, and I saw his work, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this stuff is so detailed." But I didn't get the faces at the time. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I wasn't really a fan of this type of face, but I had never really been exposed to it to any big extent. I mean, you figure in really the early '90s. I mean, from what I read online, manga wasn't super huge in the United States. So editor is Chris Warner. Interesting. He's a real good artist. And anyway, but all right, so let's get to this because I want to look at the art. We don't really need to go in order. We'll just check this stuff out, but it is really, really badass, and it looks great on the newsprint too. So anyway, the premise of the story. Hold on, I actually printed this out because I wanted to get it right. It's pretty funny. So apparently, they're almost like, well, let's see, they're part of the United Galactic Federation, and they deal with different like planetary scale problems. So this is like it the story takes place in 2138 to 2143, and they're known as the Dirty Pair because they have a tendency to like kind of get the job done, but it's usually a disaster, which creates obviously the entertainment in the story. It sounds really good. I haven't read these, but I definitely want to check this out because it's a very funny premise. I remember Adam Hughes being really, really big fan of it, and not only loving the art, but also the opportunity to draw that great cover that he did of it. Actually, I think a friend of mine owns that cover, or did. He definitely did. I don't know if he still does. But yeah, the faces were just a little tiny bit too wild for me at the time. The screen tone looks great. And funny enough, I mean, this stuff now honestly is probably more relevant than like if you were looking for like a new inspiration for your work and couldn't kind of figure out what like you wanted to pull from, something like this would be really good because it definitely hits a lot of the notes of things that we see now in like modern comics. But I'm telling you, these page designs and layouts and the level of detail is so good. This is funny. This is nice. And this more likely is hand lettered. 93. I'm going to say it's probably hand lettered. It's really amazing. Yeah, you can kind of see a slight variation in the letters. It's incredible. I'm comparing ease. God, it's crazy. Is this a font? I can't tell. I mean, that's how good these artists are. So the sim is bigger for purpose. We'll see as we go along. This is nice. Kind of shades of Catwoman's tale from yesterday. It's really cool. I think didn't Adam Warren? So Joe Madureira was a big fan of his, and didn't Adam Warren did backup stories in Battle Chasers, like issues maybe 7 and 8, somewhere around there. I actually think his work looks better in black and white. I remember obviously that story was colored because it was going in like an image, or not an image book, but a right post image. Um, and obviously fans are going to color, but I actually kind of prefer it in black and white. Nice speed lines. I was looking at some Shiro Masamune, Mune. I don't know how you say his last name. Look at this. Isn't that a great panel? Man, that's so badass. God, that is killer. I love the sort of cylindrical quality of this like area right here, and then this. Man, so cool. I'm trying to remember. I remember seeing his originals at Tom's house. So I'm trying to kill like a small fly. Like I'm like talking and this like little bug is like flying in front of my face, and then I'm trying to grab it while I'm talking. Um I I swear I think he worked a little tiny bit smaller, but I could be remembering it wrong. I remember he had a double page spread of like Godzilla or something that was insane. But yeah, like sometimes like so like in American comics we work 11 by 17, and the really like where your gutters are, meaning the amount of space between the edge of the paper and here is, I don't know, I think maybe it's like 15, 11 by 17. We're probably working in about like a 15 by 10 space, approximately maybe 10.10 and a quarter. Most pre-line paper has it, but sometimes manga artists will work like about 70% smaller than us, or well, I guess 30% smaller. So it's not unusual to see manga originals that are a little tiny bit smaller. Look, you can see the staples. This is nice. I'm trying to think, did Adam do any Gen 13? He'd be perfect for Gen 13. Oh, I remember seeing a grunge that he did. I'm almost sure of it. I mean, you basically got Fairchild and Roxy. And let the hilarity begin. Oh, this is really cool. Damn. I love like in comics how there's thousands of styles of ways and that you can approach the art. Look at this foot come in the panel on the flipper. But yeah, I mean, really anything goes as long as you do it good. Oh, she got stung. Oh, it's got her leg. We're going backwards, so we're seeing it in reverse. Uh-oh, her top is coming off. What could happen next? Based on the title, I honestly was like not sure if this would be safe for work. So I didn't seen it in a long time, but it's really very like, I don't even know, PG. It's not even PG-13, I don't think. I mean, this is kind of creepy, but still pretty cool too. This is a nice panel. So this is the second issue of this series was called The Sim, but the first issue actually I like better than this one. There's more attention to detail, so we're heading into that in just a second. So definitely hang in there if this is a really cool effect on her face, and that's it's screen tone, and either he's taking an eraser and he's able to pull off some of it with an eraser. You can maybe scratch it off, or we use whiteout. Any of those would work. Be curious to see what these originals look like now, because some screen tone will yellow, and others doesn't. I had some pieces that had screen tone on it that still look just like they did when I put it on you know, 30 years ago, and then others that don't. Man, this is such a kick-ass page. Actually, I've been collecting vintage screen tones on and off for the last like 2 or 3 years. I've got probably a couple hundred sheets now, um, but you know, I'm curious of how it all is going to hold up. So far I've been pretty lucky and it's worked, but you know, I have a feeling some of the sheets might not stick to paper anymore. This is really nice. Okay. I love this. I'm a huge fan of the reverse, like inverse look for art. It's a small thing, but it's cool. Ah, it's awesome. This is cool too. I like this. This is a great panel. Yeah, if you have any recommendations for stuff that you want me to try to seek out and share, definitely let me know. Figure if you made it this far into the video, you're definitely into like the channel. So yeah, by all means, don't hesitate ever recommending stuff. I mean, sometimes like if I have it in my collection, I can go get it. If I can find it online, then that can work too. And then if not, I have to wait until Comic-Con, or if I go to my local comic shop. He's got a pretty huge store, so sometimes I can get this stuff there. But between the 3 or 4 options I have, usually I can track most stuff down. Some of the European graphic novel stuff is a little harder if yeah, it just depends on like when it was published. This is great. Oh yeah, look at that. It's funny because these pages are quite dense, which is uh a combination of things. It's the level of detail that he uses, but he also uses quite thick lines. I mean, almost everything that he draws has thick lines around it, and I'll point out what I mean. But like even this, like this line on this sphere right here is pretty thick. Like you might not think so, but that's like a pretty thick line. This is a pretty thick line. The lines of the stuff getting close to get even thicker. Like this is thick. The lines around him are real thick. And it all adds like a weight to the art, but it can also sometimes create issues with separation and clarity. But he's pretty smart with where he places black, where he lays out on detail, also patterning. That's the thing, and we talked about it in that 3D video. But literally just the shapes that you use, like if you're layering 3 things: a person in a spacesuit, a spaceship, and then space. If you can create different directional patterns, like the sky is all kind of going left to right, the rocket is going up and down, and then she's more organic shapes. All that stuff helps. And generally speaking, and I kind of touched on this in the Casada video that I did, the first video when I came back, is you'd be amazed at how the puzzle pieces will fall into place for you naturally. You'll just get lucky sometimes. I mean, there's definitely times where you have to fight stuff, and s- multiple things that you need to draw just don't want to work together, but that's just a harder puzzle. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like the costume and what you have to draw, you go, wow, this actually worked out perfect for me. So I would say it leans more that way than the other, but it depends on you. I mean, I think one advantage that I have that maybe some people don't is I have a natural eye for design. I don't know if I would call it natural, but like for whatever reason, what I looked at growing up and the things that I was into all seem to have like abstract strong composition. And I think because I'm a musician too, I'm able to think like in weird patterns. And I think that definitely helps with art. It helps with pacing and spacing, the rhythm of things, the speed of things, how to slow stuff down. I definitely think that there's some correlations. I don't fully understand it, but I definitely think you can develop it. But sometimes I think the hardest thing to shake in art is if your work is stiff, which I think my work does suffer from that. Honestly, sometimes I'm good at design, but I don't think my poses are very good many times. Janice. I don't know. I mean, he put rest in peace, Janice. I hope that's not like a friend of his that passed away or something. Or oh, maybe it's a character in the book. Sorry, was looking at everything backwards. Cool glove. This is interesting. Nowadays, this would be probably statted. I don't. I mean, I guess even back then it could have been, but this looks like it's all drawn and done on its own. But man, it's crazy. Yeah, normally what you would do, like even in the '90s, we were doing it like if you drew the spaceship here, a lot of times the artist would leave this blank and just say stat panel 3 into the here, like they would just write it here, like stat this here, and then they might have had these little sort of pop-ups that are explaining it, so you kind of can kill two birds with one stone and not have to draw stuff. And then super anal retentive artists will draw it no matter what. Anyway, this is cool, really really cool. It's what's actually funny, and I just put this together is, so I was talking about the heaviness of his lines, and again, this is some beefy work right here. Chris Warner, the guy that's the editor on this book, that would be how I would describe his art too. Is Chris Warner had a very, very bold, chunky style. He did a Team Seven mini series after Aaron Weisenfeld. I think it was the second Team Seven mini series. His work was great, but it was very heavy. I mean, that would be my one memory of it is it was like had a lot of black, and it felt like it had a lot of thick lines. I'd have to go back and revisit it now. I haven't seen it in years, but it's funny that they're together. But like on this, these lines are actually quite delicate and more finessey. So he doesn't always do it. He's definitely got gears on it. And you don't see big thick lines like on the faces. Like there's a time and a place for it. He's just using it more for well, I mean, I know how it happens is when you're sitting in front of a piece of art and it's in front of you and you want something to pop, you know, it's like, especially in black and white, you can, go in and thicken up lines on stuff and it will make it clearer. The silhouette will stand out more. What I found over time and doing it many, thousands of pages is and that's not an exaggeration for anyone that I think I figured it out. I've done between I think 5 and 7,000 pages like in my career, so it's a lot of art. But yeah, like now what I'll do is instead of just taking like a thick pen, sorry, I almost threw my through my glasses. Instead of taking a thick pen and just going like around something and like pulling it all out, I'll literally just kind of like, I mean, and all inkers do this, but what I'm saying is like if I'm finished with a piece and something isn't coming out as much as I want, what I'll do, like yesterday I was doing kind of art examples. I didn't have I'm doing it with a mouse. Where's the brush tool? Here. All right. I'm doing this with a mouse. But what I'll do is I'll go in, and this is going to be very clunky. I don't have any weight relief, but I'll just do stuff like that. Like I'll put a little bit extra weight there. I might close a shadow there, and then I will pull back my head 2 or 3 feet away from the thing, and I look, and just those two lines actually made a big difference in how clear that is. It really did. And so you can do these like much smaller tweaks without going like this, like because that starts to really make stuff look like it can make stuff look muddy. But yeah, it's pretty incredible how it works. But yeah, and with experience you start to understand where like I'll look at something and go like, where is it getting lost? And like right here I might just go, it kind of needs something right there. And again, I'm using my mouse, so I don't have any weight, like pressure weight. And then I might just like thicken that. That's bad. I'll just try to, oh, hold on, I have my fucking pen. Where is it? Here it is. Again, I have to reach around the microphone, so I don't have any my arm is floating. But like I think if you like just this, or even like this, like right here, that can help like pull her head out more. As small as it is, it will make a difference. So anyway, blah blah blah. But hopefully that helps. I mean, I think sometimes these little tips can actually really help someone, because it's those it's the little tweaks that take someone from, oh, that guy's really good, guy or girl, to fuck, man, like how the fuck do they do this? Why does it look so much better than my stuff? Those are the differences. That's gonna take you into the X Factor zone. I gotta flip this around. I need to see this. Let's see if my rotate will work. Is it? Oh, cool. I just want to see it. That's really, really cool. X Factor. What was the whole? Oh, the whole page is upside down. Not all of it. Some of it. This is nice. This is it almost looks like Voodoo's costume from Wildcats in black and white. All right. Up. Is that it? I think we're done. Okay, and this is the other cover. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. And hold on, do we have more? Hold on, let me see something really quick. Oh, we've got. Oh shit! What? We have that many more pages left? All right, I'm down with that. Maybe. I don't know. I lost track of how many pages we looked at. It wouldn't. It felt like we'd done 20 or 30 pages. Maybe not. All right, let's continue, friends. We got Mo. Now she looks like Vampirella. What is going on? It's like every time I see her costume, I'm like, oh, now she looks like this character. Yeah, it's funny. Booty. That's a nice clenched buttocks. This is cool. Ow, where? My one, I play a lot of guitar, and my pointer finger knuckle on my fretting hand is like bugging me, and like it feels like my knuckle wants to crack, but it won't crack. It's like please pop, and it'll release the pain, but it won't do it. That's what happens when you get in the shred zone and start doing Steely Dan chords. No, Brick Beato got me on a Steely Dan thing, but usually the stuff I listen to is a little more aggressive. Oh, that's such a good pose. Guarantee that that's been. Well, I mean, I don't know like where he got it from, but if he made it up, that's definitely been swiped. I'm sure more than once, and for good reason. It's a really really cool pose. It's probably being swiped right now. All right, let's continue, my friends. Friends of friends. That'd be a good name for a shirt. Friends of friends. Friends of friend. Oh yeah, this was cool. I don't know why I'm like when I saw the pages when I was opening them, I saw this panel, I was like, oh man, that's really really neat. This is great. Oh man, this is so fun. Look at the big eye. Big eye. Here we go. Look at this guy. He looks suspicious. Maybe he's not. Oh, that was it was when I was reading about the characters. It was funny. I guess the one girl, like, she throws playing cards. It was giving me Gambit vibes reading about. This is nice. Very 80s. Even though it's 93, but I'm just saying her hair is kind of 80s ish. Definitely not 93 hair. This is cool. You know what? It's funny. Like, I'm noticing because I was just talking about my finger. I'm holding the space bar with that finger, and I'm wondering if maybe it's from being on a computer a lot. Last like month, I had to do a lot of shit with my had a bunch of external hard drives, and I spent a few weeks actually organizing them all. It was a lot of work, talking like 30 years worth of fucking art files and just all the shit that I've done. And I think I have 15 external hard drives, something like that. So I was trying to combine redundant files and then organize everything and then back up everything like twice, like have at least two copies of at least the most important stuff. But holy fuck, like my eyes for like 5 days after were like so fried. But that's what happens when you spend copious amounts of time on the computer looking at file names and stuff. This is nice. He, it's really interesting. I'd be really curious of. We'll pay attention to it more. Like he's really good with metal, and I was like, kind of. I wanted to take a closer look at how he's doing the reflective light on metal. So we'll see when we get through. Palm trees are great. Yeah, that's really nice. Nice effect. He did a great job. He's a great brush inker. I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not brush, but whatever he uses to ink with, he's really really good with it. Considering he's clearly a big fan of manga and Japanese artists, he probably uses tools very similar to what a mangaka would use. A manga slinger. Let's see. So there's no real lighting on this chair, but it's hard to say if he really considers it metal. Let me see. He uses this nice screen tone. Screen tone is like it looks great, but it would be really really time consuming to do as much as he does on these pages. You know, it's a lot of cutting and hair and stuff like that. It can be pretty. You know, you're gonna be doing it for a few hours. And the thing is definitely the pages look better because of it, but it's like it becomes sort of a given. Like you just expect his pages to have it, and you almost don't get extra credit for it, other than the fact that it'll look different than someone who doesn't use it. But yeah, it's almost like you don't appreciate the effort that went into like this area up here, you know. But all that had to be laid out. Now, sometimes back in the old days, and really it was ending when I broke in. So when I say old days, I was at the tail end of it, where some of the jobs that I did, only like a handful. I can think of two, which was Just Imagine Catwoman with Chris Bacalo, but that was quite a bit later. That was maybe even 5 years later. But my first job, the word balloons were on the page. No, I think I've done two jobs where the lettering was on the board before I inked it. So the penciler would pencil it, maybe sketch in where he wanted the balloons, he or she. Um, and then the letter would go in and either do paste ups or actually letter it on the board. And then they would send it to me, and I would either work around it or well, I mean, you don't have a choice. You have to work around it. But anyway, but it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, like now that would almost never happen. This is a great page. Oh, she looks cool there. This is nice panel. This is making me want to look at Otomo. Oh my God, look at this. This is fucking crazy. This was sort of like what you wanted to do back then, though. I mean, honestly, this is I probably wasn't collecting comics when this book came out, or just barely like starting. But I mean, I don't know why it is, but like for whatever reason, I think most people, you see something like this and it's so impressive, and if you have any sort of fantasy of being like a comic book artist, you kind of expect out of yourself that you could pull something like this off, or that would be the dream, is that you could do something like that. And it's not like, once you understand perspective and stuff like that, I'm not going to say it's not hard, because it takes a long time to get to the point where you could do it, but it's more like, are you willing to do it? Once you understand how to do it, it's, are you willing to sit for 5 to 8 hours and grind through little tiny windows, or every panel of the machinery, and different personality types are going to withstand that beating more and more. The other thing that you will see sometimes, and Adam doesn't have this, is sometimes if people don't draw characters very good, if they don't have cool looking people, they will tend to lean into their environments more to make their work look better or more detailed. So there's two scenarios, and some people just like to draw crazy shit. The one that immediately came to mind when I was looking at that last page, or the page before where I started to get into this, was Hardboiled, yeah, the Jeff Darrow thing. I mean, once I saw that, I was just like, fuck, like seriously, because I mean, most people that are familiar with that are it's insane, but it kind of was it was a lure, like you want to try it, and some people just wouldn't even go there. They already were aware that that wouldn't be like their personality type isn't going to be able to do that. I honestly, like, if money wasn't an issue, like if I had, if I'd hit the lottery and I had, no reason to ever worry about money again, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing work like that. I mean, I can do it and just zone out. You just have to be willing to work on the same piece day after day after day after day. And that's hard for some people, honestly. Trying to think, the longest I think I ever spent on one piece was, I think, 200 hours, something like that. I wasn't keeping track, but I could figure it out just based on how long it took for me to do. But I had two pieces almost in a row that I did that were, I don't even know, 120 to 200 hours. It was pretty crazy, but you know, were they better because of it? I don't know. It's hard to say. But everything was rendered. Well, actually, I can explain it to you. I'll just say it really quick because it's like, since I touched on it. So, like, if you have an 11 by 17 board, this is how I would look at it: is an area about this big would take about an hour. But if you have to pencil and ink it, so you figure 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours. And you might get lucky. Like, maybe a couple of these spots are all black, Um, and you might go, well, that wouldn't add up to 200 hours. But you have to understand, you're figuring out clothing, hair, positioning, the composition. I might have spent 5 days laying it out, so trust me, the time was there. Well, and even reference, like if you have to do something specific, and you've never drawn it before, you may have to get reference. So it's a whole thing. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't remember ever like going like, oh man, this is tedious or shitty, because you're excited to see it finished. So anyway, I'll get back on point. This is nice. I always love this like cockpit with a sort of curved angle of all the different machinery. Scratches my Joe Johnson Star Wars itch. This is great. She really, really good. I actually really like how he did her clothes like this, and this extra shadow from her hand is nice. Or I think it's her hand casting that shadow. This is great too. For me, the sweet spot in terms of time on a piece is between 22 and 30 hours. Usually I can do my best work in about 30 hours. I wish I was faster, but I would say that's the norm, because I know people will ask. I mean, it's usually like, what brush did you use? What paper did you use? Ink? Or how long did it take? But I would say my better pieces usually fall around 30 hours. That's like layout, pencils, and inks. Yep, really, really cool. This is nice. Nice, like, little sequence right here. All right. Wow, this was a lot more pages than I thought. But honestly, back at this time, comics were a little bit longer than some of the books now. I think most of the companies do 20-page books, but back then, okay, so we're done. 24 was, I think, the norm. And obviously, if you had maybe some kind of special issue, you might do 30 or 32 pages, and there was more. I mean, obviously there were 64-page books and whatever. But yeah, I would say I think the normal amount of interior pages was 24 when I broke in. Then they scaled it down to 22 and then down to 20, which honestly, again, since people made it to the end of the video, it doesn't really matter if I ramble for a second. But so honestly, at the time, this is what I looked at it as. Okay, so imagine this. Every month you are doing 24 pages and you get paid, we'll say $200 a page. So if they take 2 pages off the book and now all of a sudden you're doing 22 pages, so right there you've lost $400 a month of income. Over the year, that's $4,800. Now all of a sudden you've almost lost a month's worth of salary. Now scroll it down to 20 pages a month. Now you've lost $800 a month or $9,600 a month, a year. That's 2 months. So, granted, you're working less, but if you need to make a living and pay bills, that is a big deal. Very few people all of a sudden lose 2 months worth of salary in a year. So anyway, the moral of the story is comics is a tough business. So just be ready. Be ready to be ready. All right. I love you all, and especially you all that are hearing this because you made it to the end of the video. You are the special ones, the friends of friend. I'll be sending all of you free shirts. Just type FF in the comment section. People will be like, "What is FF?" All right, I'll talk to y'all later. I won't do a video tomorrow, but no one's at home right now, so I was like, oh shit, you know what? I'm on a roll. I might as well just do another video. But I'll be back Monday with something. I'd pulled aside like 12 or 15 books, so I've been kind of checking out each one and going like, am I in the mood for this today? But this seemed fun. But all right, okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.